Hi everybody, I'm Dana Scheider, and in this video I'm going to explain how to add negative numbers. This subject is really scary to a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be, so hopefully I can shed some light on it for you. If you know what negative numbers are, of course, and can add and subtract with the number line, you'll have no problem learning to add negatives. If you're still a little shaky on either of these things, you might want to watch a couple of my earlier videos before you continue with this one. You can add negative numbers without understanding fractions, decimals, multiplication, division, or, as always, why this topic matters. Let's jump into starting with the number line. You should already know how to add and subtract positive numbers on the number line. If you don't, I have a video about that too. Let's start with adding a negative number to something else. Let's use 3 examples here. -1 plus -2, 0 plus -1, and 4 plus -3. Adding a negative number is just like subtracting. I know what you're thinking, so I want you to remember you can learn how to do this without knowing why you'd want to add a negative instead of just subtracting. In fact, since you already know how to subtract, this should be a piece of cake. So let's work through these problems. Let's find -1 on the number line here. We're going to be adding -2. That's the same as subtracting 2. So starting with -1, let's just go 2 smaller, 2 to the left on the number line. That has you at -3. -3 is the answer to -1 plus -2. Next question. Again, start by finding the first number, 0, on the number line. This should be a familiar routine by now. Since adding -1 is the same as subtracting 1, we'll just move 1 to the left of 0, which gets us to -1, which happens to be the answer to 0 plus -1. Third question. 4 plus -3. How do you think we're going to go about this? If you're starting by finding 4 on the number line, you're on the right track. Now how do we add -3? Just like in the other questions, adding -3 is the same as subtracting 3. So we're going to go 3 to the left here, which will get us to our answer, 1. So you see, adding a negative number works the same way whether you're adding it to another negative number, to 0, or to a positive number. In all these cases, adding a negative number is the same as subtracting. The reason is that negative numbers by definition go to the left of 0. They're less than 0. So if you add a positive number, the answer is bigger than the original number. If you add 0, the answer is the same as the original number, and if you add a negative number, the answer is smaller than the original number. The last thing I want to cover is adding a positive number to a negative number. Remember how if you're adding, it doesn't matter which number comes first? Well, it's the same way when there are negatives involved. 4 plus 1 is the same as 1 plus 4. So, -4 plus 1 is the same as 1 plus -4. We've already gone through an example adding a negative number to a positive though, so I want to take this one on as -4 plus 1. Where do you think we begin? We find -4 on the number line. Next, we're adding +1, going up by 1. So we do this just like adding a positive number to another positive number. We start with -4 and go 1 to the right, and that gets us to our answer, -3. So adding a negative number is the same as subtracting. I know all this stuff can be pretty weird at first, so if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments and I'll make sure to answer. My next video is going to be about subtracting negative numbers, so subscribe to my channel if that sounds like something you want to see. Thanks for watching!